Welcome to the Business Building Blocks podcast, where we talk about the struggles and celebrations that leaders and entrepreneurs experience on their journey to success. I'm your host, Kristina, and I'm passionate about helping you achieve massive amounts of success at work and at home. We'll talk about all things people and organizational wellness, share relatable stories, and feature insightful guests because quality people and processes are at the heart of every success story. Ready to learn, grow, and have fun? Let's dive in. Hello and welcome to the Business Building Blocks podcast. I'm your host, Kristina Schmitt. I have been feeling a little overwhelmed lately. If you've been following my little saga the last 6 months, we've moved. We've got a new home. The boys are very busy with school. They've just started baseball season, and who knew that baseball season was going to keep me at the ballpark 4 days a week between two kids? I did. I mean, in all honesty, we're so busy, and I keep putting off projects, and I keep saying, I will get those pictures hung later. I need a new computer, but I'll just look into that when it gets a little less crazy. Maybe this summer will be a good time to do it. And the reality is that, I've been saying this for a while, and it's bigger than just waiting for the chaos to pass. I know I'm not the only one that this is happening to, and it's not just in home life, it's also in work life. I was speaking with a business owner recently, and he was telling me, he's like, my team just doesn't seem to be grabbing a hold of things. They're good. I've hired them. They know what they're doing, but they still come to me for every decision. They still need me in these meetings to make sure that they don't have all these mistakes in the product. I still need to be there, and I'm being pulled in and asked all these questions all the time. And I know they're capable people, but I don't understand why they're not taking the ownership and running with it. And it's causing me to work oodles of hours. I get calls in the evenings. I feel like I have to check my email on vacation. Otherwise, things might fall apart. I might miss something, and I'm tired. The thing is when I look at him and he's read books, he listens to podcasts, he's, talking with the right people. The reality is he knows a lot of things, but he's just not doing them. And this is so common. I see it a lot. I see it in myself. Admittedly, I do it a lot myself. That's the gap that we have here. So if you've been feeling this way, I'm going to talk today about why you might be feeling this way. And the more important part, where you should start, where we need to go to fix how we're feeling and to fix this problem. So let's get into why we're feeling overwhelmed. All right. So first of all, is that when I think about most leaders that I've worked with, they've started from the bottom up. So either, they're in a large organization and they started from the ground level, they did awesome, and then they continue to get promoted, and now they're leading. So they're doing the hardest things, and they're running the department, and they're helping other people with their hard things. So what they continue to do is they tack on more time to their day. And whether you're in a large organization or you're the owner and you've grown this business from, you're a party of one and you're doing all the things, or maybe a party of three and everybody's wearing 4 hats. And now you have all those other 3 hats that you can take off your head and give them to other people, but you still haven't let go of things. And this is what's causing this overwhelm. You're growing and you're adding things, but nothing goes away. You're not capable, you're not able to step back for whatever reason. Sometimes it's, because things will fall apart, and sometimes it's because we just don't want to let it go. So there's a couple of reasons those are really the reasons that that's happening. And the typical solutions that I see people do are they add more time to their day or their work day. So they're, they get the kids to bed, and now they're going to pull their laptop out and work for another couple of hours. They're, going to spend time in the weekends. Everyone can take care of themselves for a couple of hours while I get a few things done. They make sure they check in every single day on their vacation. They, and we're told this is normal. We're told this is good to do. But if we've hired people to do these things for us, then we don't need to be checking every single day while we're off. Like, if we can't step away for a period of time, we've got something else happening. The other solution that I see is that people, they'll try to back away. And what they end up doing is they have these long meetings and they have more meetings. So they're, everyone's doing their job. And then we come together in these meetings and we report back as to what's going on. So they'll either get like a play-by-play from, each manager about what's going on and this long dragged out thing. And maybe there's some metrics in there, but, they're getting told the story and sometimes like every single detail, like how the sausage was made exactly. And like, you don't need that level, but you do need to know what's going on. And you do need to know what's going wrong and what's going well. So there's this structure of either you're working more hours or you're in these long, boring meetings that half the people aren't paying attention to, and you're not really getting what you need, because the reality is when you're getting reported back verbally from somebody else and all the details, you're kind of only getting the details they want to share. So unless there is a structure or some expectations set there, you're not going to get what you need. And so you're still going to feel like you have to, dive in yourself or just be part of the meeting because, why are you rehashing the meeting for me later? I'll just sit in on it. And that can, again, drag into the more time, more hours, and no vacations. And we don't want that for you. So what's missing here is that people aren't understanding what it is that you want. And what this ends up being, while it feels like a team problem and a people problem, it's actually a leadership problem. And you're not telling them what you need and how you need it and when you need it, what detail level you need it. So they're just kind of giving you something blindly. That's creating a gap in your ability to grow, your ability to have free time, your ability to start new projects, do the things you should be doing. And it's probably frustrating your team, and it's lowering productivity on your team too, because if people are just guessing at what you want, you're going to get, the sausage, how it was made and how they, fixed, this little mini problem, you're going to get the whole thing from one person. And then someone else is just going to say, yeah, it's all good. And you're not going to hear any problems until they bite you in the, where. And that's problematic. And it's hard. So now that we understand kind of like what's the problem, why it's hurting us, this lack of leading and lack of telling people, kind of being able to translate what's inside your brain into expectations for people and into actions that they're carrying out and a system that they're able to execute with you. What we're doing is we're frustrating our team, we're frustrating our people. So that's our problem. Okay. This is why you're feeling overwhelmed, because you're pulled in 18 different directions. You're pulled in, I've got, this body of work as the CEO to do, and yet I'm checking in on design, and I'm checking in with sales, and I'm checking in with quality, and my check-ins aren't structured, and it's just meetings. And I literally spend 8 hours a day in meetings. And so I have to work 10 and 12 hours to get anything moved forward. So it feels like chaos all the time. You're constantly in this running, firefighting, lots of input sort of place, and nothing is moving ahead. So what do we do? All right. So the first place you need to start, because that's all you need right now. That is all you need when you're in a state where you're like, I'm stuck. I am stuck. So you need one spot to start. And really great tip for all goals, start with one thing. Okay. One thing, and start moving forward with that. So the one place you need to start is you need to start with you, because it's your brain that you're trying to, when your needs and your wants and your expectations that you're trying to take from your head, and really your ability to execute in, your way, take it from your head and how you behave and translate it to others so that they can do it to the level that you want them to and continue to do it that way. So we need to start with you. We need to understand who you are, what drives you, and where should you be placing yourself, and also what's stopping you from doing the things that you should be doing. I have probably mentioned this before, but when I was a plant manager, I had taken oodles of leadership programs. I was on a leadership development program. From there, I went to the lean manufacturing training, which also included leadership parts to it, like coaching and feedback and that sort of thing. And I also was on another, like 2 different other leadership programs and another thing where I got trained, like constant training of leadership skills. So I knew the things. I knew tons of it. And I'm sure there's tons of you out there. You're listening to a leadership business podcast and you know things. The gap comes in And where I found myself is I wasn't doing them. I knew exactly what I needed to do. I knew how to have the conversation. It was not always, I sometimes would struggle to recognize, but I would recognize the conversations needed to have. I knew the words to use. I even had a little process I would fill out and say, yeah, this is what I should say. But I still didn't do it. I would do it sometimes, but I'd find an excuse in there. I'd say, well, we're so busy right now. I can't distract them with this conversation. And so if I do that, they'll lose all productivity for the rest of the day. And well, now it's been kind of a while, and I feel like we're rehashing old things. We'll just wait till it happens next time. So it's constant, like kicking out the things that I needed to do. And what I discovered kind of after I got into this work, or right before I got into this work, I guess you could say, which is why I got into this work, is that it wasn't the knowledge. It was, and a lot of times we don't do something. So what we do is we seek more knowledge because I'm not doing it. Therefore, I must not know enough. I was literally having this conversation with my coach yesterday. She's like, you don't need more education, more training. You just need to start doing it. So see, I still struggle with this. And the thing is we don't need more knowledge. Sometimes more knowledge makes us feel more comfortable. It helps dissipate fear. But what we need is we need to figure out what's getting in our way. What in our thoughts and our belief systems, or a lot of his belief systems, come back to that again. I think I say this every episode, but it's those belief systems that get in our way of executing and doing the things we know we need to do, or we know we should be doing. And that is really where the rubber meets the road. Like that's how you close that gap of knowing what you should be doing and actually doing those things, because that's what's going to make the impact. So if you're feeling this tension where you're like, I know I should be doing all this stuff, and I know all the right things to do and to say, even kind of how I should do it, I just don't. Then I'm going to share this with you, because if I'd have had this back in those plant manager days, I'd have been more successful. I would have been happier. I would have been just not berating myself for not doing the things I know better, that I know better to do. And so I want to bring this to you. And so I have developed a program called Leadership Fundamentals. And I call it that because it is just creating these basics of what we need to lead well. And it's for these people. It's for anyone who is feeling this tension. I've got this team who's great. They're just not executing, or they're just not quite doing it right, or they can't quite design it to the way I would, or they're still letting problems through. They're still coming to me for everything. So if you're feeling this tension, like, hey, I know I should delegate. I know I should set up a structured way to get feedback. I know I should probably set some metrics so that I know for winning or losing, and probably set some goals and develop my team. So if you're feeling these I should sort of things, and I know even how to do it, but you're still not doing it, then this is for you. This is the thing that's going to help kickstart that momentum. So this Leadership Fundamentals, we will learn the models. We will learn the scripts. We're going to dig into what's holding you back and what's blocking you, what belief systems are getting in your way. And what the beauty of that is when you do it for yourself first, then you can take it and you can translate it to help your team. Because once you start to recognize things in yourself, you're like, why aren't you doing this thing? And you start to see it everywhere. So it's such a fantastic thing, because it not only improves you and how you're functioning, it improves your team, and it will improve your personal life as well, because you'll start to see it. You'll start to see it in your children. You'll start to see it in your spouse. So be careful with that one. Don't correct it, but we will talk through how to have conversations in a I'm not threatening you way, but I just noticed this sort of way. So we will talk through that. But these sorts of things are what's really going to build momentum on your team, build momentum for you in achieving your goals and achieving what you want to achieve in your role and in your business and life, because that's what's important here. So I developed this program. I am doing a cohort, can't say that word, a group of people that are going to learn together, starting April 28th. If you're listening real time, April 28th, 2026. We're launching this then. Within it, it's 6 weeks. So 6 live hour-and-a-half sessions. You get a working genius assessment, one-on-one with me, so that we can make sure we're focused on the right things and setting the right goals to achieve through the program. And we get the learning, the discussions, and there is a little bit of homework. There's no reading though, so you don't have to read to prep. You're going to learn. We're going to discuss the learning, and you're going to get out and implement. So the homework is actually going to improve you, improve your work life, and improve everything around, because you're going to start implementing these things right away. You're going to discover those things about yourself that are driving you or stopping you from doing things. You're going to be able to easily see and recognize it in your team. And you're going to be able to start to clarify those expectations and have those conversations to really clarify and set up a system and a structure to get everybody executing how they should be and how they can be, but they didn't understand before. So if this is sounding like something that, I'm feeling this way, I'm done, I'm tired of it, I'm ready to make a change, hop on my website, join this cohort. There are only 10 spots and some of them are already taken. I want to make sure that you can get in this. So go hop in there right away. It'll be 6 weeks well spent. You'll be leading better and feel better before summer when you have to start having your kids around a little bit more often as well. And so you can start to lead them a little better this summer too. But I would love to have you as part of this. And if it's something that sounds interesting, just the link will be in the show notes or YouTube area, wherever that is. And the link will be down there so you can go in there, check a little bit more details out and get signed up for it. And I am super excited to have you part of it. So if you have questions, just reach out to me. It's Kristina at KristinaSchmitt.ca, or, reach out on the website and you can book a call right there and just chat about it if you're not sure. If you're listening to this not in real time, so maybe it's already April or it's 2027 or something, reach out to me. There might be another cohort running, or this is something that can come into an organization as well. I've done it with an organization recently, and it was great because they had not only this learning and the development with one another, but this time to share best practices and this time to grow together as a team and say, how would you handle this? And so having that time to discuss together as a team and learn together, that is a huge for team building. So if this is something that sounds like you need, reach out to me and we can chat about what that looks like and how to bring it to your organization as well. So if you enjoyed today's episode or you found it valuable and someone else who would find it valuable, please like it, share it with a friend. Leave a review and leave a comment on the YouTube and subscribe on your podcast and YouTube apps. All right. And I will see you on the next episode of the Business Building Blocks podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to the Business Building Blocks podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's next. If you found value in our conversation, please leave a quick review, like, or share. It helps us reach more amazing listeners like you. For more resources and insights, visit KristinaSchmitt.ca, where you can find tools and support to empower your leadership journey. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.